Today I'm asking everybody to boycott Black Ops 3 for very pragmatic reasons. And most importantly, these people aren't going to start making games or giving us dedicated servers as long as they're making a shit ton of money off of us. They sit there in their big homes laughing at how upset we get that their games don't work because we keep buying them. We buy their DLCs. And we give them no incentive to put out games that essentially work on release. Furthermore, we give them no incentive to fix the broken games that they've already sold us. Once you've bought the game and paid for the season pass, you're tapped out. You're not going to ever see your money back. And why would they give us the money back? There's no reason that they should have to. We should be responsible as consumers. Now, I probably will never buy Black Ops 3 just because my experience with Call of Duty so far has been games that seemingly don't work. But there's a reason why Call of Duty doesn't work, and it's because they don't use dedicated servers. They've only gotten enough dedicated servers to legally say that they actually have dedicated servers. The majority of people are playing on what's called a listen server. And a listen server is barely better than a peer-to-peer server. And a listen server cannot handle the amount of information that needs to go back and forth to eliminate as much lag as possible. That's why every time you run around a corner, you get shit on. This is because the game has to predict what we're going to be doing and what's going to happen, 5 seconds from now. And if you watch your kill cams when you feel like it's a bunch of bullshit, you'll see that you're anywhere from a half a second to a second behind what the kill cam is showing you what happened. I've had times where I've emptied a clip and reloaded, died, and then when I see the kill cam, I never even fired one shot. And I could blame Activision or Sledgehammer, but they're just doing what they're supposed to do, and that's make money. Now, Activision is a publicly traded company, which means investors expect a return on that investment. A 20% return is pretty much what they expect. And so, Activision's job and Sledgehammer's job at the end of the day is to not give one shit about the consumer. Their job is to get that 20% margin for the shareholders. And so, we'll never get a game that works as long as we keep buying them, and especially paying for the DLCs. Nobody should pay for the DLCs until they're just about to be released and the game is proven to actually working worth half a crap. A great deal of rage on any game easily comes from it not working properly. And in my opinion, being a few seconds behind everybody else in all that's happening, and other people being a few seconds ahead of everybody else, kind of is like a forced system of cheating. So, we're being cheated on several levels. Games are really expensive for what you get. Most of them you can finish it in one night. The single player, even though I don't really care about the single player, but that is part of what we pay for. But more importantly, if you buy, shooters, you're probably buying it to play online. And if the game doesn't work online, then how are you really going to have the fun that you paid to have? You're not. It's just not going to happen. And so, since Call of Duty is the game I'm playing right now, that's why I'm urging for the boycotting of Black Ops 3. I say boycott Battlefield Hardline at the same time. Make them prove that their game's going to work on release. Battlefield 4 was a horrendous piece of shit for over a year. And how did they solve that problem? They got dedicated servers that could handle the flow of information. But there's no reason to think that we'll be on these same servers once Hardline comes out, because those servers are reserved for Battlefield. Hardline the beta, it had a fair share of problems, but they have plenty of time to work on those. However, the betas are no longer about fixing the problems in your game. They're about hyping your game for sales. So I say boycott betas as well. If they're not going to take the information that they gather to improve the game, but rather project their sales and determine how much, marketing they still need to do, or if they're done. In other words, spend the money that we give them for these games on putting up fancy commercials that do not actually reflect what the game is going to be like at all. When was the last time you've seen a game commercial that showed you what your actual experience is going to be like? No, it's all just animated scenes that have nothing to do with the actual gameplay. So, they make their games look tight as shit, It makes you want to buy it when you watch these commercials. But I think an effective boycott would force them to actually spend money on making the game work, rather than putting millions upon millions of dollars into making advertisements to try and sell their game. If a game is fun, people are having a great time on it, others will buy it. That's just the way it works. But we're currently in this situation where we'll buy any piece of shit they throw at us because we're so hungry for fun, for new games, new content. This is why we buy the DLCs, because we want to increase the longevity of the fun we have while we play. New maps and new weapons or new levels or added storylines. That's all, adding something to the game. But when you look at the games that are released, the initial release, the version that you get, it's so stripped down that you're buying basically what seems like a DLC or an add-on. Then the further DLCs are just really little smaller chunks of what you originally bought. But at the end of the game cycle, once they quit putting out DLCs and you put it all together, it really only feels like about $60 worth of what value. So just have patience when games come out. Don't buy them right away. Let the suckers find out that they don't work. And then get on Twitter and send as much hate mail to these people as you possibly can. Thanks. Have a great day. Bye.